Now let's talk security. Every country has a security threat it is faced with to some degree, and Somalia is no exception. Somali officials say the Al-Shabaab militant stronghold of Barawe on the southern coast was taken by African Union and government troops on Sunday. The African Union and the Somali military launched a joint offensive in March to drive the Islamist fighters out of towns and areas they control, and stepped up their campaign in August after a surge in gun and bomb attacks in Mogadishu. In Raga Ele town in the Middle Shabelle region, recently captured without resistance from Al-Shabaab, life seems to be returning to normal following its liberation.
Soldiers from our joint Somali National Army SNA and African Union Mission in Somalia AMISOM force patrol Raga El town in the Middle Shabelle region of Somalia following its liberation from Al-Shabaab. The town was captured without resistance on October 1. Troop leaders say life is slowly returning to normal, but there is still a heavy presence of AMISOM and SNA officers.
We are expecting to clear in this area from Al-Shabaab, and this will be the breaking point. Barawe is the center of the gravity of Al-Shabaab, and it is no longer the center of gravity of Al-Shabaab.
The soldiers met with some of the town's residents on Friday, October 3, to discuss how security can be improved. The African Union and the Somalian military launched a joint offensive in March to drive the Islamist fighters out of towns and areas they control. AMISOM and SNA stepped up their campaign in August and launched Operation Indian Ocean, a specific focus on towns along the coast of the Indian Ocean after a surge in gun and bomb attacks in Mogadishu.
We need to be supported. We need to partner with the people. All development partners, if they can come on board, I'm sure it will not take us long to improve the life of the people in these areas.
On Sunday, October 5, a Somalia official said AMISOM and SNA took control of the Al-Shabaab militant stronghold of Barawe in the Lower Shabelle region on the southern Somali coast after the Al-Qaeda-linked militants fled. Barawe is the biggest Al-Shabaab-held town that the offensive has targeted so far, but the rebels still hold swaths of territory in Somalia.
Al-Shabaab has known that AMISOM was coming after them. We've been fighting them from Mogadishu. We have followed them, so there's no secret here. You can also tell from where we are today, we're just 2 kilometers to Barawe. I mean, literally, we have taken over Barawe. So tomorrow they should expect us with them, shall have tea with them.
Officers in Raga El met with traditional elders and traders to hear about the challenges they faced under Al-Shabaab's control and discuss the way forward.
The Al-Shabaab moved away. That's why to establish the relationship between civilian and the military, we have to establish the relation, and in order to know exactly what is going on here with our brothers SNA, we have to secure this sector. Burundi contingent operate under AMISOM. We have to secure this sector, to establish the good relations, to help people, to provide peace and security.
Al-Shabaab banned many aspects of modern life and applied its strict literal interpretation of Islamic Sharia law, ordering executions, floggings, and amputations for crimes such as theft.
We know that Al-Shabaab will continue, to conduct the guerrilla warfare. So what we are doing is to train and to enable Somali National Army to be able, to face to this kind of warfare.
The group ruled most of the southern region of Somalia from 2006 until 2011, when African troops marched into the capital western states, unnerved by the rising tide of Islamist militancy, have supported the AU peacekeeping force financially, saying Al-Shabaab exploited Somalia's chaos to train fighters.
And finally on the program, we touch down in Kibera, a large and poor informal settlement in Nairobi, Kenya. There, one school is doing more than feeding students' minds, as the VOA's Lenny Ruvaga reports. It is also feeding their stomachs.
32-year-old Mildred Auma goes about her daily routine. Every morning at 6 o'clock, she wakes up her son, Augustine, and prepares him for school. The 4-year-old has a glass of milk and a bite of unleavened bread called chapati before he heads off to school. He is one of only a few students who get anything to eat before going to class. This school, called Seed School Kibera, began offering early childhood education 7 years ago to underprivileged children. Today, there are 60 students ranging from 3 to 14 years of age. Benjamin Odhiambo, who has been teaching at the school for the last 2 years, says it caters to both the minds and bodies of its students.
The children look forward to the meals because most of these children come from less privileged families. This is the only meal they can afford within a day. So we are not just feeding them physically, but we are also nourishing them intellectually.
Unemployment here is rife, and most students come to school hungry, which can lead to a lack of concentration and poor performance. So the school started a food program. At 10 a.m., the students have porridge, and at 1 p.m., they get served a hot, nutritious lunch before they leave for home 3 hours later. Mildred Auma is among the lucky few who own a business that can provide for her family's basic needs. She makes around $10 a day from selling groundnuts and buns. But she is grateful for the meals her son gets at school.
The school is close to my business, and the fact that they give me meals is great. But Augustine may not be able to stay there when he graduates from class 3. If it happens, I will ask them to help them find a place in a similar school.
Patrick Aoki, the school's director, says the food program is financed by employing some of the parents to make beaded jewelry. Sales of the necklaces and bangles generate about $120 a month.
We have an economical challenge in the slums. So one major thing we actually do is to offer feeding program for the children. This supports them actually to be able to grow intellectually and maybe physically to be able to concentrate in their learning.
For Augustine and his schoolmates, this education may provide a way out of poverty into a more promising future. Lenny Ruvaga for VOA News, Nairobi.
Well, that's indeed a food for thought, and that's where we draw the curtains on this episode of Network Africa. Many thanks for watching. As always, I love to hear from you, so feel free to send me an SMS via the number on your screen. Until next time, stay blessed and proudly African. I'm Cynthia Araya. Bye for now.
A time comes in the life of every race when people are driven by echoes of the past to chart a course for an exalted future. Africa is at this threshold, as major actors in the Africa arena plot a renaissance towards common destiny. Let's pedal across the streams of yesterday, from the backstreets of Africa to the defining roles of policymakers, the political realities of the African nation, balance of power, and a strive to sustain national interest and identity. Join us on Network Africa on Channels Television. Network Africa, the rallying point for the imagined.